Finally getting the monkey off our backs, defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-25. And a lot to discuss, guys. The Eagles are 4-0. We should be happy. But there are some things to discuss and some things that might be concerning going forward. We'll see, but let's get straight to it.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm having a fantastic day today. My mind is wiped out right now, and I'm just ready to move on from week 4, enjoy this for the next 48 hours, and really just enjoy what we've done the last few weeks, because you had probably the hardest schedule from weeks 2 to 4. You know, obviously with KC, the Rams, now Tampa Bay, finally beating Tampa Bay, and you went to Tampa Bay and did it, and which is great. Look, from the start of this game, the blocked punt touchdown was fantastic. Cam Latu with the block, Sidney Brown rolls in with the touchdown, which was great. And this offense was on all 4 cylinders in this first half. I mean, distribution, slants, Jalen Hurts being 8 for 9 against the blitz. Todd Bowles really had no answer. They tried to disrupt the timing of Jalen Hurts, these throws, a few of these runs to the outside. I mean, Dallas Goedert got involved. Calcaterra got involved. I mean, Devontae Smith. I mean, it was great. The slants, the checkdowns. I mean, everything was there. Everything was right, okay? The tush-push fake, to Barkley on the outside. They did some great things. Obviously, that was like into the second half on the short field because of the fumble that Jahad Campbell did on that play. But I think the Eagles were in really good focus of really taking this game to the next level, blowing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of the water 24-6 at the half. And those 2 field goals, obviously, that Tampa Bay got, they got a lot of help from the referees. And the referees were horrible on both sides. The taunting call from Cooper DeJean, like some shit that just wasn't right. But a lot to really go over in that second half, because things just really did change. The Eagles went back to their conservative play. This really bothered me in a lot of ways, because this is something you really don't do when it comes to play calling. I was so wowed by that first half. I was looking at this play and that play, and I was like so surprised just how smooth and how fluid this offense was. Like, Hurts had full control. He was comfortable, and everything was going the right way. Where in that second half, the Eagles gave up 2 70-plus yard plays. Okay, one obviously, the one to Makuba where he wasn't paying attention. I think he would have had that pick if he just paid more attention of where the ball was going. His eyes were just not on the football, somewhere else, and it was just kind of crazy. But the Eagles on how many possessions they had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 possessions in the second half. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, touchdown on short field, punt after 5 plays, 3 and out, 3 and out. It was bad. I mean, I'm talking 11 yards of offense in the second half and a touchdown. 20 plays. That's not good. The Eagles won the game. I understand this, but we have to nitpick at these things because we're talking about the play calling. Are we really going to go through this again? And I still feel like, and even coming out of this game and after a few hours of kind of thinking about it, how does an offensive coordinator completely shell themselves in the second half? How do you become so aggressive in that first half, 24-6? You get the ball at the half in the start of the second half, where you can literally put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers away, and you literally shit the bed. I mean, you put all the pressure on this defense, and yes, the defense really saved us. Amaro Ojomo's sack, I mean, some really good pressures on him, and some really good plays. One on 4th down they really made, which was great, and I thought it went really well. The star of your defense was QUINYON Mitchell. I mean, the star. I mean, QUINYON Mitchell versus, Abuka and Chris Godwin. I mean, he gave up only 2 catches for 6 yards. This was QUINYON Mitchell's best game as a Philadelphia Eagle. Okay, Jalen Hurts, 93%, completion percentage. Okay, in the first half of this game, that was the best completion percentage of Jalen Hurts' career in that first half of that game, and Hurts did not complete a pass in this second half. It was the same conservative offense from start to finish. Running on first down, running on second down, pass. I mean, it literally became the first half to that Rams game all over again, and it was really hard to watch. They said there is no way that they're going back to this. I have never seen a team have a lead like they did at 24-6. They go into this second half, they play conservative, and they continued that through 2 quarters. Okay, you're telling me that they were trying to chew out clock for 2 quarters? I mean, that's just insane for me to even say. It's making me believe that Patullo isn't the only one calling plays. And for what Nick said for the Rams game last week, he said that Patullo called plays in the second half, and he called plays in the first half. And that already does not surprise me at all. We've had issues with this early in 21, 23, 24, even this year a little bit as of right now in 25. It was the same old wide receivers running straight lines on comebacks, on curls, doing absolutely nothing. And then there were times they were forcing it to A.J. Brown. And there was one series where they threw it to A.J. Brown 3 straight times. Like they were force feeding him for some odd reason. I don't know why. The tight ends were non-existent. The run game was non-existent, hitting a brick wall nonstop, up the middle, inside zone. It was almost the same as the Rams game in that first half. It was a mirrored image, and that's a little scary. You know that A.J. Brown didn't have a big game, but obviously, like, they didn't throw his way most of this game because he was probably getting zoned in on by a couple guys, probably the whole entire game. It really opened up everything else in the first half because Hurts was so good playing off of that blitz from Todd Bowles, okay? And then, like, A.J. Brown, he puts out something on his Instagram afterwards saying, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw, don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Okay, that's what he put something from the Bible after the game. A.J. Brown didn't meet with the media, and I have to say this has nothing to do with the trade. This has nothing to do with him being out. This is him having an issue with this offense that he's not going to say anything anymore. He is going to do what the coaches ask him to do. Okay. And it's going to be up to other players to kind of step up and kind of say that, yeah, we need to change some things with this offense. I don't blame A.J. Brown for making this statement. And, you know, players need to speak their mind sometimes. And this isn't a negative thing. This is actually a very positive thing of A.J. Brown to come out and say this. He's the bad guy. If he says something, he's the bad guy if he doesn't say something. So at this point, you know, A.J. Brown did say something about this Rams game that the offense has to be better. I mean, he had talked about it at a press conference last week, and now he's just not going to say anything anymore. Depending if the Eagles continue to do what they're doing with this offense, because I don't see any team out there that's up 24-6 and they play as conservative can be that wouldn't take advantage of the opportunity to put a team away early in the third quarter. And then if you want to play conservative in that fourth quarter, middle of that fourth quarter, that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with any of that. I felt like there was 2 different playbooks for 2 different halves. And I think that's what we got. And I think Nick is still involved in stuff. I don't know why this guy doesn't learn. There's been no reports, but that this is true. And I hope the beat writers are a little aggressive with this because I kind of want to know the truth here. I can't say to myself that Patullo did what he did in that first half and then goes to the second half and said, we have a great lead. Let's just totally be conservative, sit back, and take the biggest beating. And you know what that resulted in? It resulted in Hurts getting sacked. Hurts almost having a concussion, which I don't know if he did when he got dropped to the ground pretty damn hard. So I don't know if that had anything to do with some of these bad throws, maybe from Hurts or anything like that. Hurts or any of these players are farther from the problem. Okay, they have nothing. They are not the problem. We see the talent. We see what they're capable of doing. And then they're put in this robotic conservative mess of play calling that this is what they look like. Barkley is either running into a wall, Hurts is either getting sacked or nowhere to throw to. Everybody becomes pretty much non-existent in this offense, and realistically, they can run any play. They'll take all the negative yards, and they just want to chew up as much clock as possible. Now we're going to talk about the sponsor of this video, ProfitX. ProfitX is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, and player props, since you're playing against other people rather than the book. Every touchdown, every moment creates a live market you control. Buy in when you're confident, cash out when the momentum flips. It's like trading stocks, but for sports. Profit Exchange runs over 40 states, and you must be at legal age to do so. This isn't your old sports book. This is the #1 sports book. The action moves fast, and so can you. Real-time, player-driven, and built for fans who see the game before it happens. So let's dive into the ProfitX market on the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the Eagles are sitting at plus 700 to win the Super Bowl. And yes, we're talking about this after one game. So the real question is, do you believe in Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, and this revamped defense enough to go all in at plus 700 and stay right there? Or do I go a little bit further than that? I think I'm going to stay, and I think I'm going to let the #1 sports book and ProfitX take care of the rest for me to help me make the better decision. If you think you've got the vision, ProfitX, the #1 sports book, the #1 place for sports, is here. I want to thank my Eagle fans, my supporters. Use promo code SHAKE72. You can get up to $200 cash back over your first 30 days. Every play you make, ProfitX gives you money back for playing on their platform, up to $200. Link in the description. Make sure you go to your app store and download the ProfitX app and use that promo code SHAKES72. I want to thank ProfitX for sponsoring this piece of content, and I will see you guys on the next one. Go Birds. Defense was tired in that second half, so putting pressure on them was not fair at all. That defensive line, the DTs were doing some good work. The edge rushers, man, this is the biggest problem we have. Nolan Smith has been already out. He's out for 3 weeks, whatever it is. Okay, probably won't be back until November 10th. Jalix Hunt, where were you at? Okay, where was Darius Smith today? I don't even know where he was on the field. Edge rushers containing the outside and rushing the smart way. There were some open lanes. DeJean, came in when he had to make some open field tackles. They were moving Abuka, their rookie, on the inside after QUINYON Mitchell was pretty much shutting him down the entire game, and DeJean was kind of taking that role. So that's why you keep Cooper DeJean on the inside. That's why the value is there with him. If winning the Super Bowl and as being aggressive as you could possibly be didn't make you learn about, you have to keep your foot on the gas, keep your foot on their necks, and not let go. But I have to say to myself, this is week 4. Okay, and there's a lot more football left. And if this was happening week 11, week 12, then I would probably be like, yeah, this is a serious problem. I understand Tyler Steen was out of the game. He came back, which was great. Lane Johnson didn't even want to speak to the media after the game because he ended up getting hurt. Don't know what's going on with Lane Johnson, but you can kind of afford now with the, you have the Giants, you have the, I think you have Denver, the Giants, the Vikings, the Giants again. So you have a schedule now where you're kind of through the really tough, gritty playoff team aspect of weeks 2 to 4 with KC, the Rams, and beating Tampa Bay 4-0. I mean, you're in a really good spot. Now you can maybe afford to at least try to rest some guys and get some guys healthy. Since the Eagles bye week, I think, is until week 10 of the season, you come out 4-0 in Tampa Bay, and, you could have looked better. And, but at the end of the day, this is a learning experience for a lot of these coaches, especially Patullo. But if Nick is involved in any of this, we're going to find out. I think it'll be a matter of time, whether it's a few weeks, whether they start losing games or winning games they should win. I'm all over the place with this video. I'm not really editing too much because I kind of just want to get this off my chest and just rest my brain after this, because I think we should all be happy that we're 4-0. A lot of good things to take away from this game, but I'm not blaming any of the players that were a part of this second half disaster offensively, because they're told to run a certain route. Hurts is supposed to look at specific players, and these routes aren't here. If Hurts is forced to throw certain passes that guys aren't open, or they're just throwing to AJ because they need some guide calls, or they're just trying to find the easiest way to get down the field. What they did in that second half, that just wasn't it. And because your offense was dipping down in production in that second half, and it was really hard to stay above the surface, your special teams was really getting punished, because that first half, your special teams, your kickoff, your punt, you were not letting Tampa Bay get past the 30-yard line. They did absolutely amazing. Michael Clay did a fantastic job. Then that second half hit, and they gave up two really big returns to the Eagles side of the field. And that's unacceptable. Playing conservative in the second half is like a factor of like guys will get less injured if they play conservative. I don't think that's true at all, because Hurts got slammed to the ground because protection broke down. And when you're starting to look predictable now because you're running almost the same exact plays in the second half, quarterback's going to get demolished. Your running back, remember, Saquon got his ankle twisted on that tackle. Then it seemed like he was hurt, and they still ran him on the next play, which was kind of crazy. You can't get one first down. You can't do much of anything. You can't even complete a pass in the second half. And your defense in this humidity has to pay the price and pretty much gas the rest of that second half. And that's pretty much how it went. My attitude was completely different right after the game, because the emotions were high. And after sitting for a couple hours to a few hours, I kind of said to myself, this has happened before. This happened last year. And then after that bye week, they really turned things around defensively, and they ran the ball more, after the bye week last year. And look what happened. Part of it is the Eagles are not showing all their cards early in the season. And, as much as I don't like these conservative second halves or playing a conservative spot for one half of football, I think there's a bright spot where we know what this offense is capable of. We know this defense has got us out of really bad situations. I'm not saying there's a power sharing or a power struggle when it comes to play calling, but I just know that there is something going on, because I see two different people calling two sets of different playbooks and two different halves these last couple weeks. And that is just not right. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm going to enjoy this for the next 48 hours. We're 4-0. We just got through a pretty rough, the hardest part of our schedule. And I think that's something to really be proud of. And, this is week 3 going into week 4 now. This isn't week 11, week 12. Like, trust me, if we're still dealing with this down the stretch, there's going to be massive problems, coming later on. And if Jeffrey Lurie was the smart owner that he is, he would say, Nick, drop your play calling, let Patullo call for all 4 quarters. And I hope that is being said. Like I said, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm getting a headache just thinking about it, because I can't believe we're actually putting ourselves in this situation yet again of a scapegoat coordinator season. And I do not want to go through that again. I want to make this short, but my head is killing me. I'm just emotionally I need to just separate myself from football for a couple days, really enjoy it, and we'll get ready next week for another matchup to the Denver Broncos. There'll be a lot to talk about this week on some of the play calling and some of the news that was asked. And I read some of the quotes from Nick Sirianni. He wouldn't really give up any type of information tonight, last night, whenever you're watching this video. So I'm not putting too much on that at all. How do you feel about the game? Do you think it's all Patullo? Do you think it's Nick and Patullo? Do you think there's some type of position of power when it comes to play calling yet again on a scapegoat season? And do you just think we just need more time and just need to enjoy the moment right now? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. Make sure you hit the like button, because it helps out tremendously. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follows. Peace out, guys. Peace out.